How's it going, Guardian? Shifty here, and in today's video I've got for you my first Legend Lost Sector guide of Season of the Haunted. For my very first Legend Lost Sector guide, I'm going to be covering K1 Revelation on the Moon. Now for this Lost Sector, we're going to encounter some barrier champions and unstoppable champions. It has Void Burn, there's going to be Arc Shields, and it does have the Fire Pit modifier. I will show you just a full run on a Warlock, but the strategy should be similar for all three classes. I will be running on a Warlock, but if you do have Hunter or Titan questions, leave them in the comment section down below. In just a moment, I'm going to go over my loadout, but before I do that, if you end up enjoying today's video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright, so now let's get to my loadout real quick. I am going to be using a Void subclass because Void Burn is on for this particular Lost Sector. So for my Warlock run that I'm doing, I'm using Nova Bomb Cataclysm. If you're on a Titan, you can use Sentinel Shield. On a Hunter, you can use Mobius Quiver. Now, I'm using the Scatter Grenade, but it doesn't really matter all that much what your grenade is, and the aspects don't matter all that much for this either. Now, for Fragments, I am using Echo of Undermining, Echo of Remnants, Echo of Expulsion, and Echo of Leeching, just in case you're wondering. Next up, for my weapons, in my kinetic slot, I have Arbalest, and this is going to be for barrier champions, really just the best anti-barrier weapon. In my energy slot, I do have the Pointed Inquiry Void Scout Rifle. This is going to get the 50% damage boost from Void Burn, but I also have adaptive munitions to use against the Arc Shields in this Lost Sector. If you don't have this, don't worry too much about it. You can use an Arc Scout Rifle, or just use Arbalest for the Arc Shields. Again, in my heavy slot, I am picking another Void weapon. I have the Royal Entry Void Rocket Launcher. Pretty much any Void Rocket Launcher will work here. They just do incredible damage because of that Void Burn. So if you don't have Royal Entry, you could use the craftable Void Rocket Launcher, or you could use an old Bad Omens or anything like that. Then for my armor mods, I'll just quickly show you each piece of armor, and if you need to see anything in more detail, just pause the video. One thing I want to point out is I do have Revitalizing Blast here on my Bond. If you do not have that unlocked on the artifact yet, don't worry too much about it. It's just a nice bonus to have, but it's definitely not required. Anyway, that is it for my loadout here. Again, I'm just going to show you one run on a Warlock, but the strategy should be very similar on a Titan or Hunter. I didn't want to make the video too long by showing a full run on all three classes. Also, one thing I want to point out real quick, if you can, try to spec into Resilience because it now offers a damage reduction in PvE, which is extremely helpful in something like this. Anyway, with that said, let's get into the run. Alright, so to start things off, there's going to be a bunch of Acolytes right over here to the right. I'm going to go ahead and use a grenade on them as soon as I can. I am using Nothing Manacles alongside the Scatter Grenade. But of course, if you're on a Hunter or a Titan, you may be using a different grenade. Alright. So we've kind of cleared out this first area of Acolytes. We're going to move on to the next area, but you do have to be aware there's going to be a barrier champion here. I'm going to pull out Arbalest and get that to use its barrier right away. There we go. And we're going to finish that off. I guess I really didn't need to go for the finish. I'm just so used to Lucent Finisher from last season. Toss a grenade down there. If you don't have a grenade, you can of course take those enemies out with your weapon. Now I'm going to push forward, but I don't want to go past this right here. This will spawn the Acolytes, but it won't open the Shrieker. So perfect, those Acolytes are down. Now I'm going to push past this and be ready for the Shrieker. I'm going to fire a rocket, and then kind of hide behind here. Shrieker should be down. Now we're going to wait for these enemies to push forward here. I have a grenade again. Now sometimes, if you weren't able to get this barrier champion to use its barrier down there, it will be up over there, so just be prepared for that. I'm going to go ahead and grab that ammo. Toss in another grenade. Of course, if you don't have a grenade, you can go ahead and just use your weapon. Now, I'm using an adaptive munitions scout rifle. There's going to be arc shields in this, of course, but with this adaptive munitions scout rifle, I don't have to worry about match game at all. In fact, there's our arc shield, and just like that, the arc shield is down even though match game is on. Alright, we need the Arc Knight to pop out a little bit. There it is. And the Arc Knight is down. Do we have the Unstoppable spawning just yet? There it is. I'm going to stun it and fire a rocket. And it's pretty close to dying. We'll stun it again, and this time I'll use Arbalist. Perfect. We have some enemies off to the right there. Did have some enemies off to the left there. There's a couple acolytes over here yet. Alright. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to fire a rocket up top here to try to clear out some of those acolytes and maybe that knight as well. Let's finish that knight off with Arbalist. That's why Arbalist is an excellent choice here. Let's take out that acolyte. I believe there's still one more acolyte up there, but we'll leave it for now. Again, I'm taking this slower just so I can kind of explain things as I go. Let's hop up here. I'll toss a grenade there, and we'll go for the knight. Then I'm going to be ready for the Unstoppable Champion. I do have one more acolyte to take out. Now we should get the Unstoppable Champion. Might as well go for some of these acolytes while I wait. There it is. And we'll fire a rocket. And kind of backtrack and wait here. And we'll wait for the stun. And now I'll use Arbalist. Take the crystal out. Toss a grenade on that group of acolytes. We should still have one more acolyte hiding up here somewhere. There it is. One acolyte up there yet. And now we should have another Unstoppable Champion that spawned right there. Yep, that acolyte kind of took the rocket, stepped in front of the rocket and the Unstoppable. That's fine. Unstoppable Champion is down. You can take the crystal out. I do want to be aware of any more acolytes. I know there's one behind me right here. Alright. Now it's time to go for the boss. I do want to grab that heavy ammo real quick. I'll just run over here. And then run back. I'm going to go ahead and destroy the crystal. I'm actually going to fire a rocket. Then a grenade. And as you can see, that worked out pretty well. There's a barrier champion. Might as well go for that. Perfect. Again, I'm on a warlock, so I was able to use Nova Bomb. If you're on a hunter, you can use Mobius Quiver Tether. Now on a Titan, you'll probably have to rely on your rockets. However, you can then use Sentinel Shield to get over to this chest without having to kill any additional enemies. Almost died to my own rocket there because of Lasting Impression. So on a hunter, you can probably go invisible at this point. On a Titan, you can use Sentinel Shield to get over there after you've killed the boss with your rockets. On a warlock, it might be safer to just take out some of these enemies. You can of course try to rush the chest, but there's so many acolytes here that chances are pretty good you're going to end up dying. So just be aware of that. So let me just finish off some of these acolytes and then we'll go ahead and grab that chest. And that should almost do it. Eventually the enemies will despawn as well. And here we go. We're grabbing the chest for the K1 Revelations Legend Lost Sector. And on my very first try, I was able to get my hands on the new Rain of Fire exotic boots. I can't wait to give those a try. We'll see how it goes. It's basically a Solar 3.0 exotic with Icarus Dash, so we'll see how it plays. But it is also a fusion rifle exotic, so I'm excited to give it a try on that front as well. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I know K1 Revelation is a bit of a longer lost sector, but if you're looking to get your hands on those new exotics, it might be worth doing.